report says the new magic number for retirement for Americans is $1.46 million, which most of us obviously don't have just laying around. So what can you do to possibly prepare knowing that that's what the consensus is? Well, we're going to discuss that today. First, if you don't already have a copy of my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, you hear me talking about it every single week. It's a great resource, and we will send you a copy absolutely free. Just hop on our website, safemoneyretirement.com, or give us a call at 833-413-SAFE. Okay. The financial services company Northwestern Mutual just did a survey of 4,588 adults. They just released it just last week. And according to the people in that survey, they averaged that it would take $1.46 million to retire comfortably. Now, to a lot of us, that sounds absolutely crazy. And the funny thing is, it says right here, that's over $1 million more than the average survey participant's nest egg. So they're basically saying they needed more than $1 million more than they had, was what this survey actually says. So what does that really mean? Now, a major company's chief executive recently said retirees with little financial background have to figure out how to make their nest eggs last for as long as several decades, and he called it an impossible math problem. That's in quotes. He called it an impossible math problem in an annual letter to shareholders. So how can that be an impossible math problem when we know there are products out there that essentially are like a self-funded pension? So you can put X dollars into a product, and if you turn an income on right now, it's going to pay you this. If you defer it, it's going to grow by this amount and pay you this in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and you can plan. And that's what I do with my clients every single day, is sit down and figure out what do they need for income. Y'all have heard me preach this over and over and over. And for years, retirement happiness is about income. It is not about assets. When you're making that transition from the acquisition phase, like that we've been in our entire lives trying to get as much as we possibly can, to the distribution phase of retirement, making that switch mentally does take some, it does take some work, but essentially you're then putting to work all the savings that you've got. So I disagree with it being an impossible math problem. What we need to do is we need to sit down and figure out, okay, where are your expenses? We need to figure in inflation. We need to figure in the cost of living. We need to figure in the possibility that Social Security could be lower, and we need to make sure you've got enough income. And that's a math problem that we can figure out, because we can reverse engineer it. And let's say we figure out in 3 years, you're going to need $2,200 a month. Okay, well, with your age and everything, I can put it into the computer and I can tell you, if you put X dollars in with this company, in 3 years, they're going to pay you what you need. So it's not an impossible math problem. It's a challenging math problem, but it's not impossible. It also says it's hard for workers to imagine what their 401k balance ultimately buys in retirement. And I will say, if you are just leaving your assets in the market, it absolutely is almost impossible, because we don't know what the market's going to do. We don't know if the market's going to keep going crazy. We don't know if it's going to go down. We don't know if it's going to stay where it is. We have no idea. So yeah, it kind of is impossible if you're leaving all your money in at-risk market type accounts. Understanding how far retirement savings will go is further complicated by the uncertain future of Social Security. Now, is that not the truth? The retirement program is projected to deplete its reserves in a decade, which means it's going to have to trigger a 23% reduction. Now, that's unless Congress acts, and well, I won't even go there. But we know that Congress has got to do something in order to fix Social Security, or it's going to go down. So that's another thing that we can plan for. If we know in a decade, if Congress doesn't do anything, Social is going to go down by 23%, then guess what you need? You need a replacement for those 23% in a decade. We can plan that. That's not a math problem that's impossible to plan for. That's something that we can plan for. Now, according to the Federal Reserve, I thought this was a very interesting number. The average American has $333,940 saved. That was in 2022. That's actually up from $282,100 in 2016. But households that are ages 65 to 74 actually have an average savings of $609,000 in 2022. I thought those were pretty interesting numbers. So a lot of people out there are getting a lot of money saved. The challenge really is figuring out how you're going to use that money. I mean, all that you've saved your entire life, that's fantastic. You've done great. You've had whoever help you plan and prep for the retirement that, but once you get there, you've now got to decide, do I want to leave all that money at risk and hope it just continues to grow and take money out of that? Or do I want to take a portion of that and put it into something that's going to pay me and my spouse a guaranteed income that's going to make sure that you have enough income no matter what, and have possibly some that can grow to offset inflation in the future? That is what brings retirement happiness. And that is what I work with my clients on every single day. So keep that in mind. The math is absolutely impossible if you are just throwing the money out there and hoping that you're still going to get the returns, that there's not going to be any kind of market events. I mean, that's just not realistic. What goes up comes down. It's done it over and over and over, and it's going to do it again. Just make sure the money that you absolutely have to have for your retirement is protected. Anything above and beyond that, you want to play in the market and, great, go for it. But make sure that you have got enough protected for you and your family to have enough income no matter how long you live. And that's the other thing that's different about these products that I do. They're going to pay you as long as you live. Even if you've depleted the principal, they're still going to pay you because these are guaranteed income products. That's how these products work. That's how I work with my clients, not on ifs and buts and boy, I hope, and let's try to make a plan and hopefully it'll be okay. I want to make a solid concrete plan for you and help you know that your retirement is safe.
The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.